should have like an open scroll somehow. Gotta work on
Empire 161 show.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? May the 4th be with you. Or this is the May, or however you like to be put it. I know it's like a fairly newer one with the Mandalorian. But thanks for joining us as always. It is May the 4th. It is Star Wars Day. And it's our day for our show. We do have our name is tied into Star Wars with the Yankees. So perfect day for us to be on. Having Season 6, Episode 4. That's what we have. All kind of like lined up inadvertently once again. So, good stuff there. But yeah, thanks for joining us on this Sunday evening. And if you're checking us out on the Facebook live stream, if you're checking us out on YouTube, or if you're checking us out wherever you found your audio and podcast, as always, appreciate the support. By the way, I was like cursing, so that's why I'm just joking because my speaker is like broken. So, yeah, thanks for joining us as always. We're excited to be here to be talking some Yankees baseball. We got 2 series to talk about. We got one when they face the Orioles, and one that just wrapped up against the Rays. Oh, I'm sorry. Reason for that, and I'll give that later. But I'm Ed, and with me as always is Lisa. Lisa, what's up?
Ed's taking my job. Hey, everybody. You know what, Ed? We did a prep fail because we should have come up with Star Wars names for ourselves. So I could be Princess Lisa because it's very close to Princess Leia.
Well done.
I don't. You have a few minutes to think about yours, but we should have come up with that.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And yes, as Ed said, we're going to talk about our series versus the Orioles and the Rays. Unfortunately, both series we went 1-2, so it's not what you want. But the one with the Orioles was a big one, and it's probably going to take us a few more minutes to talk about that game because the Yankees brought their bats out again. But yeah, Eddie and I got to see. So we skipped last week because we inadvertently got to have a single admission doubleheader last week. And although I left in the 4th inning of the second game because I was just really tired and I had to work the next day in the Bronx, Ed stayed for the whole game and we wouldn't have made it back in time to do the show last week. So that's why we weren't here. But we went to last Sunday's game and we went to today's game, as Eddie mentioned, and we both got our Giancarlo Stanton bobbleheads. I'm very excited about that. Y'all know how I feel about him. Oh, Eddie's going to show you. Eddie's going to show you the bobblehead. Yep.
There it is.
So we were really excited to get that today. And we had an interesting day at the stadium. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to do a review of the tiramisu cup that I had today for the first time.
Yeah. It was an interesting day at the stadium. Long one there for a little longer than usual because for giveaway stuff, you got to get there fairly early.
Did you? Man, we got there at 11, folks, and there was already a big old line.
And it never fails. Doesn't matter whatever it is. You got to get there early.
Yeah.
Even was the most recent one before this, the hockey jersey that I had got there for. So it's anything. The stadium giveaways are pretty red hot at Yankee Stadium. So my dog is marvelous nesting over here in the background, making her spot.
I will say this, though, compared to last year, it seems like they have the lines under control again. However, I'm very curious how the lines are going to be for the Aaron Judge Superman one. I feel like that one's going to be I think we have whatever time that game is, everybody who goes to that game is going to have to get there very, very early.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty hot one. I mean, Star Wars Day is also like, it doesn't matter. It seems to be, doesn't matter who it is that they give away. It's always going to be a big thing, and people are really into it. And there's even like, non-real like diehard Yankee fans, just Star Wars fans show up to that. So it's always like a lot of fun, and they do it up pretty good.
Oh, I forgot to say something. We got to take a picture with Darth Vader and a couple other Star Wars characters today.
Yeah, no, that's another thing that the Yanks do pretty well. They go ahead and they usually have like characters. I remember they used to do Marvel Night. There was a couple of times that they had like Captain America there and stuff like that. So they do a good job. I think they should do a better job maybe promoting where these characters are taking place.
Yeah, it definitely was an accident for us.
It did, because we just happened to be going up to the 200 level and stumbled upon it when we got off the escalator.
Mhm.
But it's always a lot of fun though. Star Wars Day is one of my favorite days of the year. Pretty much every season, they do a nice job with that. But we also did stumble upon the additional tiramisu stand in the 200 level, so we can kind of let people know about that because we didn't really know about that there was another one. Because the main one is downstairs on the field level, and now apparently it looks like it was just set up like this weekend where they have one right by the Mack truck now, and Lisa got to try it.
I did. I did. So we both had mac and cheese today, which we've had in the past. However, when I went to get my mac and cheese, I was denied the one that I wanted because it wasn't being displayed. So I did not know it was there to ask for it. And then when Eddie went to get his about a half hour, 45 minutes later, it was displayed. And like a nice friend, he chose not to get it because he didn't want to rub it in my face.
Oh, is that why I chose not to?
I don't know. I don't know why you chose that. Maybe you didn't want it, but but I will be trying the brisket mac and cheese in the near future. I was really disappointed that I didn't get to get it today. Anyway, so about an hour and a half later, we were in the rain delay, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me to get a tiramisu cup. So I did, and it took a few bites. It's small. It's in one of the helmets, and I took a few bites before I could actually taste like the aspects of it that make it tiramisu. I was just tasting kind of like the sweet upper part of it prior to that. So once I got to that bite, I was like, okay. And I think I told Ed I gave it a solid 7.2. I think I said, or 7.
Yeah, you were really getting in depth on this, not just like whole numbers. You were even giving like
Yeah.
0.7 point something there.
Yeah.
It wasn't
yeah.
didn't it get dinged for them not giving you a spoon and they gave you a fork
They
instead?
gave me a fork instead. Yeah, like who eats tiramisu with a fork? Come on, man. But what the young lady at the stand was really lovely. It's a very small stand that sells the tiramisu cup, M&Ms, and I forgot what the other candy was. Like very random pairing of options. I would say, for like a one-time thing, go for it, but it was kind of pricey for the size. So yeah, that's also part of the thing. It doesn't meet the near perfection of the Babe Ruth Sunday, which is one of my favorites. But I won't be having that until June probably.
Yeah, you have way more patience than me with the lines for those things because I mean
Oh, because it's worth it.
they are so tremendous. Like if I the times I've gotten one of those, it's usually when I've happened to be going to the bathroom and I notice randomly there's no line, and
Which
I'll
is
jump
very
on.
rare.
No, it's
Very
super
rare.
rare. It's usually when it's like not June or July or August. It's you got to kind of catch it. Like today would have been a day where I'm pretty sure the lines probably wouldn't have been too bad. Because it was like a weird overcast day, rainy and stuff, and it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold, it was like somewhere in the middle. That's when
we started the day feeling a little bit hotter and worried about the clothing choices we picked.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, we were perfectly fine with our clothing choices.
Absolutely fine, and so glad brought the rain jacket and the umbrella because I definitely needed it as soon as that game ended. And I guess my thing was it was before our off week last week was the street tacos on the sixth floor. The sixth floor.
Well, what floor is that?
Maybe the sixth floor of Madison Square Garden. I don't know. Like there is one actually. That's where everything goes on. But yeah, it was upstairs in the 300 section, and really good stuff. I gotta say, like honestly, one of them. I think the chicken street taco is probably one of the best bangs for your buck at the stadium because the tacos are loaded.
Definitely is. I opted not to get them because I wasn't hungry. And when you got them, I was like, well, that's too much.
Yeah, they gave you 2 tortillas to make sure it's not like falling apart on you, because they loaded up with a bunch of stuff, and then you have the 4 options of hot sauce to put on, which I grabbed 1 of each and tried 3 of the 4. And yeah, there's some that are definitely 4 out of 5 fire. They give you the ratings that are on it, but I'm all about that.
Which was your favorite?
I think the garlic. It was like this garlic pepper one that was in there that I really dug. The truffle one was good too. But the truffle one's like in the black package.
Yep.
And the green one, which I didn't try this time, is the one that I put you onto.
Yeah, that was good. That was good for those who have sensitive taste buds like me.
No, I have no issues with doing that another time. I just kind of was like excited to try the other ones. But like, the flavor's good though.
Yeah, you have a stronger palate than me when it comes to the heat. I don't. I mean, I'm a punk with that.
But yeah, you can't go wrong with any of it. But I think it was like what, $14, maybe $15 or something like that. I feel like it wasn't like crazy expensive for the tacos.
I don't remember, but you got a lot. And my favorite vendor is the person who puts them together.
Yeah, she stacks those tacos.
She's so awesome and so generous with her portions. I'm not going to shout her out in case she's not supposed to do that.
Hey, listen, to me, she's doing the job right because, hey, they're not
absolutely doing the job.
They ain't cheap. These aren't like Taco Bell, like, mini tacos and stuff like that. Like, you were paying a good amount, and she gives you a good portion. So
she does, and she's just super nice too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, she's awesome. But yeah, I think that's our food stuff for this week. We'll see like next week and other stuff we can try things. Because I know I tried like a bunch of the new stuff. I do want to get around to that Austin Wells breakfast taco thing.
You were considering it today, but
I had breakfast and I wasn't gonna I even considered double breakfast thing, but then
you would have been so sleepy.
Well, no, that would have been lunch. I would have went for the breakfast lunch thing. And
you mean brunch? Mm-hmm.
No, not at all, actually, because it was after 12 o'clock. No, wait, was it after 12 o'clock?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I think it would have been before 12. So it definitely would have been extended breakfast.
Brunch. Mm-hmm.
No, there was none of the orange juice crap and the other garbage that goes along with it. Was it mimosas or whatever? Like, none of that crap. I don't do that.
Oh my god!
I have actually come around on orange juice recently in the last couple of months because I was unfortunately had a cold a couple of times, and that's the only time I drink orange juice because I don't like it in general. I really don't. I actually don't like orange juice, but I drink it when I'm sick because I kind of feel like a little extra vitamin C can't hurt, and I kind of like force it down. But
do you? I'm assuming you're non-pulp then. If you don't like orange juice, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I'm non-pulp regardless, but.
No,
but I figured you would be. Pulp is gross.
No, it's not for me at all. But I don't know. I had it with some breakfast and stuff during that. And I kind of came around to it. I'm like, oh, this maybe isn't so bad with breakfast, but none of the like mimosa crap or none of that. No, that's garbage.
No. And you can have brunch without a mimosa, but whatever.
It kind of isn't that the whole selling point? That's what I've been told. That's
the selling point. It's part of it, but it's not like I don't.
Oh look, I don't always bottomless mimosas.
I do not always drink alcohol when I go to brunch.
That's what I've been told all these years. That's the selling point. And
no, the selling point is going out with your friends and having like a very extended meal together.
Oh, what do you mean? Like some people have extended meals after playing softball for post game, which is
usually post game. In the lunch, a specific name.
The lunch window.
No, that's not the lunch window. That's brunch dinner.
No, depending. There's no dinner that's in there either. There's none of that.
I didn't say dinner. I said brunch.
I said dinner.
You said dinner.
No, absolutely, I did because I'm making the point of like we're not combining meals. Like usually, most of us haven't had lunch by then, so we go ahead.
Yeah.
And we do that. So
we celebrate our victories.
Exactly. And then sometimes, like yesterday, you're kind of full, so you don't eat dinner. You skip dinner, and you just whatever. You kind of have a couple of pretzel rods and call it a night.
Well, before we get into talking about the game,
the baseball. Okay.
Yeah, that thing that we do on this. Before we get into talking about the baseball games, I do want to shout out the person that we met today. So we were sitting by the mac and cheese cart, and two different sets of people came and sat with us because there wasn't that much room. And the second set of folks were a father-son duo, and we were talking to them for a while, and they were really nice. And the father ended up like downloading our podcast. So thank you so much. It was really nice sitting and chatting with you for a while today.
Absolutely was. It was a lot of fun. We were discussing the potential rescheduling if the game was rained out because I was
Yep.
like, I can't. It's been a while, so I will say baseball's gotten better with that. But like when it was a rain delay, I'm like, don't give me this shit where we sit there until like 4 o'clock and they're like, oh, sorry, the game's been
God,
postponed. Like,
I would have
just
been
call it.
so mad.
But listen, kudos to the Yankees though, because honestly, and Major League Baseball, whoever the hell made the decision officially, is they got the game in today. And honestly, there wasn't
They
rain
did.
delays, there wasn't a bunch of stuff. They got it into it just enough time because it started to come down as soon as the game ended.
Like literally as soon as the game ended.
It was perfect. It was fine. And a little on and off rain during the game, but it wasn't nothing too serious.
Yeah, we got dripped on a couple of times, but it was only like little plops of water that was collecting above us.
Yeah, which earlier I was welcoming because when I first got there, I was sweating my butt off. Literally sweating my back off because that's how it was coming. That dripping sweat down your back, and it's like,
oh, I can't wait for summer.
No, neither can I. It needs to happen already. Let's enough of this playing game shit. All right, let's get into some baseball then. I was trying. Damn pretzel rod from before. It's like the in between. All right, so let's get into some baseball then, shall we? Last Monday, Yanks went ahead and dropped a tough one by a final 4-3 to the lowly Orioles because that is something. I mean, the Orioles are talented, but they've been struggling. Yanks went in there coming off the doubleheader sweep. Things were feeling good, and not so much on this night. Will Warren got the loss. His record was 1-1 at that point. He only lasted 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. More on Will Warren, I think, after today's recap. Aaron Judge, though, 2 for 5, another RBI. Trent Grisham, 2 for 5. Anthony Volpe was 1 for 4 with an RBI of his own and a double.
And it was his birthday.
It was his birthday, actually.
It was his birthday that day. He turned 24.
It's amazing. It's just turned 24.
I know, to be young
so
and
nice.
on the Yankees.
Austin Wells, actually, his brother in Parmesan chicken parm was 1 for 4 also with an RBI and a double exactly. But the tale of this night, though, Yanks left 9 runners on base. You lose by 1. You leave 9 on base. You can pretty much point immediately to what probably the main issue was. I mean, Will Warren didn't do them any favors either, putting them in a hole, and that's something he kind of had an issue with today as well. So his learning ups and downs, and that's still going, on and on. But with the rotation, with the injuries and stuff, they don't have much of a choice. Honestly, just unfortunately they don't, and hopefully the kid's getting some experience so he can kind of work through this. But that's where they kind of kicked off this weird scheduling. Like they were home last weekend. They went to Baltimore for 1 series and then come right back to resume the homestand for 2 home series. It was a little odd. And then they go west. It's weird. But when you have a balanced schedule, this is the kind of crap that happens. Like there's been odd scheduling quirks, I feel like, since they started the balanced schedule a couple of years ago. But Yanks would bounce back in a big way on Tuesday night, where they pounded the Orioles by a final of 15-3. I mean, this one was over real fast.
It was.
Carlos Rodon was the beneficiary of this. He pushed his record to 4-3, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. So none of the 3 walks, 8 strikeout line that he was doing. No, listen, Carlos Rodon has been pretty consistent. I'm curious to see how long this lasts. But it seems like he's finding it. He's been a solid number 2 behind Max Fried.
Yes,
and the Yanks really, really, really need it these days. Aaron Judge, 2 for 3 with his 9th home run of the season, 3 runs scored, 2 walks. Ben Rice was 3 for 5 with 2 home runs on the night, giving him 8 on the season with 4 runs scored. Trent Grisham, 8 home run, another home run, his 8th of the season. Cody Bellinger, 2 for 4 with his 3rd home run of the season, driving in 3. 2 walks. Austin Wells hit his 5th home run of the season. Yanks offense banged out 19 hits on a day. I mean, it was really, really a beatdown, which I thought would have been things to come for the rest of the week, but not so much. This was the one offensive explosion. As my father traditionally would have said, save some of those runs for tomorrow. Seems to always be worried. He was always worried when the Yanks were putting up like 15 runs or something like that they would suddenly flame out the next night. And wasn't totally completely wrong for the next night, but like I wouldn't say it was a complete flame out because the Yanks would end up dropping the rubber game of the series by a final of what was up 5-4.
Sorry, I did want to say something about that game.
Yeah, good.
So the Yankees 4 home runs in the first inning made them the first team ever to hit 4 home runs in the first inning multiple times in one season.
Mm-hmm. That was, I mean, listen, when you come out bombing like that, you kind of really take the other team's heart, like, immediately.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm surprised people didn't go crazy with the torpedo bats and everything else. What happened to all of that? Like, that was supposed to ruin baseball, right? Isn't that what was happening? Baseball was going to get turned into softball, and the Yankees broke baseball. No, it kind of just is regular bats. And offensive explosions naturally happen for every team. Even, like, the A's, who I just caught myself from calling them the Oakland A's. Like, even they will go through offensive explosions from time to time. That's just that's baseball, Susan, as the great John Sterling would say. But as I mentioned, the Yanks did drop the rubber game 5-4. Carlos Carrasco, not a great start. Got his second loss of the season. His record was 2-2 at that point, only lasting 3 1/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. Aaron Judge just cannot be stopped. 3 for 3 with his 10th home run of the season, drove in 3 runs with a walk. Paul Goldschmidt, 1 for 5 with his second home run of the season. That was the Yankees' offense. I mean, that was it. That was the 4 runs. Yep. So you could say if they did save some of the runs when the 15-3, when maybe they would have taken the other 2 games and we could. No, it's not how baseball works like at all. You just can't. It's just a weird week because they dropped 3 games by 1 run each.
Yeah.
Just an unfortunate week right there. I mean, it's not like they were playing like crap all week, but they were just, I don't know. There's a little unlucky there too, and just some attention to detail because their defense all week was kind of shaky, and you can't. This is what happens. It comes back to bite you, in the end. Anything else on the Orioles series though before we move on to the Rays?
Yeah. So I have a couple of things about this game. When Aaron Judge hit his 10th home run in the first inning, that tied the MLB lead. And he finished April with a batting average of .427, which is just insane. When Ryan Mountcastle hit his home run in the bottom of the second, he snapped an 0 for 18 slide, and the Orioles scored 5 runs for the first time since April 19th. Not what you want when you're playing when the Yankees are playing you.
This was the game. I'm glad you brought that up. Girardi was in the yes booth. He said it. He said it during this game, where it's not what you want.
Oh, it's not what you want. Yes.
He did say that.
And I don't know if it was this game or another one where David Cone, they were both in the booth, and David Cone said, as a wise man once said, it's not what you want. And then Joe Girardi, you could hear him like giggle. So that's funny. And then in the top of the 5th, when Paul Goldschmidt hit his home run, that gave him 1,200 career RBIs.
Yeah, the Yanks offense, I mean, mostly carried by Judge, obviously. Goldschmidt, though, doing his thing, like see the power come now with it, because, I mean, as much as the awesome batting average is, you want some pop to go with that, and that's been coming around, and we'll get more on that in a second. Trent Grisham has joined the party. Ben Rice has cooled off a little bit, but still doing his thing. I'm curious to see if he can sustain that. It would be great. I mean, if he absolutely can.
Yeah.
And that will, well, I don't know, actually, because around this time is when we got some news about some transactional news about the Yankees shortly after this, right? Friday was a day where we learned that Jazz Chisholm Jr. went on the IL officially with the strained right oblique. And he will be out 4 to 6 weeks, which he seems to be optimistic about because he says the injury doesn't feel too bad. And
he's also young, so
yeah. And he was
That
right
helped.
last year when they put him on the IL last year. Remember, he actually was right. Like he kind of listened to his body. He was back quickly, so hopefully more in the 4-week part. And we'll see. Knowing the Yankees, it'll probably might be 5 weeks because they'll be
They're
cautious
very
and they don't want
cautious. Yeah.
they don't want to run him back there. But what I was going to mention with Ben Rice was Giancarlo Stanton was transferred to the 68-day IL, really to make room for Brian De La Cruz, who was picked up off of waivers from the Braves. Those unfamiliar with Brian De La Cruz, he's still pretty young. He's in his late 20s, right-handed bat, which the Yankees desperately do need to balance out this lineup. Outfielder, I don't know. We'll see, because Dominguez needs to get his playing time still. He's still kind of working on out. Bellinger is going to play no matter what. Judge obviously is playing no matter what. And Grisham
Judge is playing unless he's DHing.
Yeah, which that opens up the spot, right?
Right.
To give days off, but then Ben Rice has been getting some spot starts at first to give Goldie some.
And at third today.
No, that was
Oh no, JC. Sorry, that wasn't. Sorry, yeah,
Escara.
JC.
No, it's funny you mention that though, because with Rice's skill set and being a catcher who obviously must have some sort of arm, he should start picking up other positions and seeing what he can do, because if Stanton does ever come back, he's obviously going to play, and then Rice, if he's hitting, if he can sustain it, he's going to have to play somewhere, and it ain't going to be catcher because Wells has got that. Escara, is the backup, and Rice has to play somewhere. So Yanks do have a hole at third. I don't want to say, actually, I take that back. I don't want to say hole at third, but Cabrera's done an admirable job over there. But the point is, if they can use an upgrade, third base would be one of those spots where you can see where, all right, we can kind of pick this up, because Cabrera, I think, so far has proven he's probably more of a platoon guy off the bench, play different positions and stuff. I'm not sure if he's an everyday starter, but he's certainly getting the at-bats for one. I'll say that for sure.
That's for sure.
But also, Yorvit Vivas got the call up on Friday, made his major league debut, got the stat column right away, and the Yankees 3-0 win over the Rays, who open up the series. Max Fried continued rolling. He got his 6th win of the season. His record's now 6-0. He went 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Luke Weaver picked up his 3rd save of the season. Also to note on the pitching end, Devin Williams did pitch the 8th inning and looked really good in the setup role. He was successful as a setup man in Milwaukee before he became the closer. He used to set up for Josh Hader before he was traded. So who knows? Maybe the flip-flopping works. Probably a mental thing there. It's a little bit easier in the 8th than in the 9th for most of the time. And I personally think it's Weaver's job to lose now. Unless Weaver falters, that's it. Williams, if he can prove to be a great setup man, that's absolutely fine also.
Yeah.
Not going to pay him as much in the offseason if he proves to be a setup man, because closers get paid a lot more than setup men, but that'll be a choice he'll have to make. But I don't care who pitches the 8th and the 9th. As long as they're getting the job done, I could give a shit less.
Yeah. Also, I'll take his pay cut any day.
Yes, I'm sure his pay cut will. Nobody will be starving or getting ramen and stuff like that on a nightly basis because of that. But Luke Weaver did have 2 strikeouts in the 9th. Aaron Judge was 2 for 4 with a double and a triple and a run scored on the evening. Paul Goldschmidt, though, 3-run homer, which was all the offense the Yankees did need. He was 2 for 4 on the night with a run scored. I had mentioned Yorvit Vivas in his major league debut. He was 0 for 1, but 2 walks and a run scored. So he did contribute. Lefty bat. Boone says he'll be getting a lot of at-bats at second base. More on that in a second as we talk about today's game, because it was a little puzzling right there.
Oh, Eddie's got comments.
Yeah, I don't. It was a little baffling. This is something that I didn't quite get. But, good to see the kid getting a shot. And he was also in a trade with the Dodgers a couple of years ago. That's how the Yankees acquired him. So we'll see. He should be getting most of the at-bats at second base while Jazz is down. But who knows? Because Pablo Reyes apparently needs to get at-bats sometime, someday, somewhere. Just shouldn't be there. Anything on Friday's game before we move on to yesterday's matinee?
The only thing I have for Friday's game is that the Yankees have had 3 shutouts this year, and they've all come against the Rays.
Yes, we still got some more games to come out. They got to start shutting out some more people.
Yeah.
Wasn't the 2 of them were Max Fried?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Your ace is doing his job. He's shutting down a team that can't hit, which you should be doing.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Yanks would drop yesterday's game by a final of 3-2. Ryan Yarbrough got the start because Clark Schmidt was scratched a couple of hours before game time with left side soreness, whatever that's about.
Isn't that how Jazz started?
It kind of just seems like it's very bizarre. It seems very vague. It sounds weird. Something to keep an eye on. But a move that was made out of the bullpen today kind of leads you to believe he should be fine because it looks like he will be starting on Tuesday against the Padres. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the Yankees being overly cautious with stuff. It kind of seems like it.
He just came off the IL. So
no, I get it, but I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. Sometimes they do kill me where they're a little too much. And I know, like we talked endlessly last year about the Rizzo thing and stuff, which was the example on the other end of the spectrum. But this was, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Schmidt goes on Tuesday. But he did take, Yarbrough took the ball, though, no decision. It went 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 3 walks, which is not great in 4 innings. 2 strikeouts, but hey, spot start, did the job. Mark Leiter Jr. took the loss as he ended up coughing it up in the 8th. Big error by Anthony Volpe late in the game, which kind of led to that. Also, we found out on that play that Anthony Volpe kind of hurt his left shoulder. He says he heard something pop. Imaging that was done X-ray wise came back negative. He supposedly was a option off the bench for pinch running and stuff today. So I don't know. Again, don't know if it's the Yankees being overly out. If he's in the lineup tomorrow, this is the Yankees being cautious with the whole thing. But the whole hearing something pop thing has me a little concerned because usually you don't hear something pop if nothing's wrong.
Nope.
So something to see there. Aaron Judge, though, was 2 for 4 with his 11th home run of the season. Austin Wells, 1 for 4 with his 6th home run of the season. Yanks offense, though, big telling thing. 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Which 2 solo homers out of 2 runs, not a lot of offense mustered up against the Rays, and can lead you to lead you where it's like, hey, you had a chance, can't just be 2 solo homers there. All right, anything on Saturday's game though before we roll on to today's?
Yeah, so I have 2 things. The first one is when Aaron Judge hit his 11th home run in the bottom of the first, he joined Hank Aaron and Jimmy Fox as the only players in Major League history with 10-plus home runs and a .430 or above batting average in a team's first 33 games. Hank Aaron did it in 1959, and Jimmy Fox did it in 1932.
This is where Aaron Judge is right now. He's just, again, these are like all-time.
It's all historical.
It's all historical now. Goes back to what we were talking about. Just listen. Don't take it for granted. What we're seeing is pretty special.
Yes. When you know he's going to be up, do not go to the bathroom. Do not go get a snack.
No,
watch what he does.
Yeah, that's not.
The other stat is Zach Little, who was the starter for the Rays on the game yesterday. He tied his season high with 7 innings pitched in his 3rd quality start in the past 4 outings.
Which quality starts have been tough to come by because teams are pulling guys out before they can go 6 innings. So impressive there, especially the Rays, who are known for their, bullpen games and, kind of just wearing out the grass between the dugout and the pitcher's mound with how much they go ahead and go in and out. And Kevin Cash, goes to his bullpen. All right, and that brings us to today, where earlier today the Yanks unfortunately did drop the rubber game again by a final of 7-5. Will Warren got the start again. Not good. He's got his 2nd loss of the season. He was now 1-2. He only lasted 4 2/3. 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 8 Ks. Also, not great defense behind him. with Peraza, who was starting in place of Anthony Volpe, kind of made a big error early and led that, helped open up the floodgates there because the Rays had, was it 16 hits and 14 singles or something like that? Like, it was something bananas. Like, it was like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Oh, my
The list is
gosh.
going. Cody Bellinger was 1-for-4 with his 4th home run of the season, 2 RBIs and a walk, which was his 200th career home run. So nice to see that. Trent Grisham, 2-for-4 with a walk and a run scored. Yorbit Vivas was a pinch hit appearance late in the game for Pablo Reyes for some bizarre reason, got the start, but got his first career hit driving into, which was a big spot for the Yanks at the time, which the Yanks had that huge rally late where they had bases loaded, no outs, and it seemed like just the whole week. Like Jason Dominguez barely misses a 3-run homer that hits the top of the wall. Runners had to hold, keeping the bases loaded. Unfortunately, J.C. Asara ends up grounding into a double play, killing that. It was just, I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of things this week just did not break the Yanks' way, and today was just another prime example. But, yeah, nice to see Vivas get his first career hit there. And the Yanks are facing a righty in Taj Bradley. Why is Vivas getting his third day in the majors off? Why? Why would you not want another left-handed bat? Like, I just want to know what is the reasoning behind Pablo Reyes starting today. Like, if they were facing a lefty, Lisa, I wouldn't be arguing. I'm like, oh, I still don't love it because the guy has shown me literally nothing since spring training. But why? I just don't fully understand it at all.
Sometimes, as we've talked about over the years, sometimes Aaron Boone's decision making or the office, wherever it comes from, is it's the head scratch meme. It's the meme.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't fully understand it there. And again, it's not why they lost. They lost because they didn't play great defense. Warren put them in a hole. They weren't hitting Bradley for most of the time, but they made their surge late, little against Bradley and against the Rays bullpen. But it's the details. This whole week they lost a lot of close games and not playing great defense this week at all. Little mistakes here and there. They could have easily won like 5 or 6 out of these games. Honestly, they even could have won all 6 of them, to be completely honest, when you really look at it.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah, they were all winnable games,
Absolutely.
And they're division games. Division games they're big.
Yep, so, you have to win those.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. Yanks rotation, though, Will Warren. I mean, he is still working on developing, and they don't have anyone else right now. I think they're just trying to get to June when Heel can make his return, hopefully. Fingers crossed that actually happens. And then he will take whoever's spot is the least effective. I think they have no interest in freaking Marcus Stroman back. At all. I can see them. I've seen reports where it's like he's still feeling discomfort and yada yada. I'm like, okay.
They will probably bring Adam Ottavino back a third time before they bring him back.
Yeah, I would just be really surprised. I mean, actually, let me take that back. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but God forbid they suffered a major injury in the rotation now, since they have like virtually nothing. They would be kind of forced. Suddenly, Marcus Stroman will be healthy, and suddenly the knee's okay, and then magically, but until they have to, I think it's just take your time. Coming back. Stanton's injury situation is a complete mystery. Jazz. I do. When Jazz comes back, I also would like to see maybe not the all or nothing approach that we've seen from Jazz most of the season. It's a little frustrating when you got a guy who's fast and athletic like he is, and you don't use any of it because you're just swinging for the fences every single pitch. But, any floors open? Any other bugaboos with the Yanks that maybe you want to discuss or throw out there? I mean, why not?
You covered the majority of them.
I'm just saying, it's like, listen, I'm not complaining. Like, I'm really like, listen, I'm still happy with the team. I still think they're finding their way. Standings wise, I've said it and I'll say it a bunch of more times until we get there in a couple of weeks. When Memorial Day weekend rolls around, or June 1st really is when it is, that's when the standings become like okay, now we need to start really like digging into the standings. But up until then,
Yeah.
you're feeling your way through, right? Like there's a
Mhm.
162 game season. The worst teams will win 60.
Mhm.
You're gonna win 60, you're gonna lose 60. It's like, what do you do with the rest of the games?
I
That's the
mean,
telling point.
some of them might not hit 60.
The way the Rockies are going, maybe not. I mean, maybe they want to like really show you. Oh yeah, you think we're gonna win 60? I'll show you everyone wins 60. Um, but I don't know. Again, Yanks are doing what they got to do. The AL is not the powerhouse league this year. The NL is the tougher thing. Which bringing in the Padres this week, they will have their hands full, and it's a series to get back up from these little mistakes that they've had this week. Because
Mhm.
you got to beat up on the Rays and the Orioles, especially when they're down.
Mhm.
You know. All right, then let's take it to our awards of the week. We will go with the top of the heat. I mean, whatever. I'm not even like listen. Top of the heat hitter of the week,
Okay.
hitter of the
So,
season.
Eddie and I agreed today that Max Fried and Aaron Judge just are the automatic winners, so we're going with number 2. We're picking number 2
Yes,
for
but
both of these.
let me also because I don't want to just do what I said and take it for granted. So I will reel off the numbers quickly. Max
Okay.
Fried, you got his numbers right. Like Max Fried was also the Player of the Month, AL Player of the Month. Judge was the
Mhm.
AL Player of the Month there too. But not to just gloss over it. Over the last 7 games, which we covered 6 of them, Aaron Judge is hitting 464. He's hitting 516 on base percentage. He's got a 1036 slug. I mean, the guy's putting up freaking softball numbers. 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, 3 walks, only 5 strikeouts, 8 runs scored. Like, I don't want to gloss over. Do not take it for granted. The guy is absolutely amazing. It is unfortunate that like there are some people who are looking at it like, oh, but the postseason. Well, guess what? Though? You can't do anything about that until October.
Mhm.
So when that comes, that's for me. That's when that conversation can restart about that. Can he stay? If he can do this level in the postseason, which it seems to me like he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder this season, probably about
Yeah.
what happened. He's out to prove a point, which I've
Mhm.
known over time now that when Aaron Judge gets upset about certain things, usually like the pitchers are the ones who really got to watch out because he seems to usually prove his point. So
Yeah.
whatever that
Also,
means.
he's a brand new daddy to a little girl too. Don't underestimate the power of the daddy-daughter bond.
And dad, I mean, not that he needs anymore, but like dad strength.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So, who is your top of the heap hitter of the week, runner up? We'll put it
It
there. Who's the
might be
runner
the
up?
same. It might be the same as yours, but I went with Paul Goldschmidt. I kind of knew that we were gonna have the same
God, you know something?
backup.
I'm gonna try to pivot now.
There was another person that you could choose.
Oh,
So,
I'm sure there
but
is.
while he's looking that up, I'll read you Paul Goldschmidt's week. So he had a 280 average and an 828 OPS, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 walk. His on base percentage was a 308, and his slugging was a 520. And he's just been consistent. You know when he gets up that he's going to do something.
Yeah, line to line hitter, hitting for high
Mhm.
average and everything, high on
Yep.
base percentage. Yeah, fantastic job. I'm gonna go with Trent Grisham.
That was the other one. Yep.
That's the other one. 308 over the last 7 games, 400 on base percentage, 538 slug, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, 4 walks, 8 hits, 4 runs scored, and also playing a damn good center field. So
Mhm.
I mean, they're the ones carrying the offense. So and
Yep.
also I want to note Anthony Volpe also picking it up recently. Fortunately, before he kind of went down with the shoulder. Hopefully he can pick right up. But I've noticed Anthony Volpe has been. It seems like he's getting a little bit more consistent, not the all or nothing approach that him and Jazz were kind of looking like they were taking the right-handed and left-handed versions of this. So,
Mhm.
all right, then we got our King of the Hill pitcher of the week, and same thing. The winner is Max Fried. All right,
Mhm.
that's just fine. We're gonna like to highlight the runners up, you know,
Mhm.
for the week. And for
Who'd
the
you pick?
Yanks, I'm gonna try to. Might be a bit of a no pun intended curveball here. I'm actually going to go Devin Williams.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Devin Williams, I will admit, since his demotion out of the closer's role, he's actually pitched pretty damn well. Which,
Well, when you don't have that pressure on you.
no, I get it. And as many have said, notably with the Yankees, with Garrett Cole had said about pressure is a privilege. And it is. But hey, I'm sure he's went extended bullpen situations. He's come into slightly lower leverage innings, but as I had mentioned Friday night, he came in the eighth with a 3-0 lead, and he did his job. And he just looks more confident. Also, maybe it just was the slap in the face he needed. Maybe the
Could be.
ice cold water thrown on you, like, hey, dude, you just lost a closer role. Like you were brought here. This was your career making, at least financially. This was the season to get your big money contract from the Yankees. Here's the stage, and you kind of coughed it up. And as mentioned earlier, to me, this is Luke Weaver's job now to lose. Like, I don't care what Devin Williams does, as long as Weaver's doing his thing. I wouldn't flip flop it back and forth. Keep it how it's working.
Neither would I. Yeah.
No, let it be then. Let it ride out. Who do you got then?
I went with one of the bullpen guys. I picked Fernando Cruz.
Fernando. He is nice.
He is nice. So Fernando has a 0 ERA. He had 3.2 innings pitched this week, 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts. His whip is a .27 and his average against is a .083.
Yeah, no, that splitter's looking nasty too. I mean,
yeah.
Again, the Yankees and Mark Leitner Jr. for the most part has actually pitched pretty well too. The bullpen's been he's not Cruz. He's not.
Yeah, he needs to
good
just
Devin Williams.
Yeah, he needs to get. I would like to see more consistency with him.
Yeah, but he's thrown into a lot of high leverage spots this year, and again he coughed up the one Saturday, but also the other high ball didn't quite help out with that either. But yes, he's also kind of been smacked around a couple of times too. So again, just a quick nod to him, but that he hasn't been awful by any stretch of the imagination.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. All right, so then that takes us to the Padres at Yankees preview, a 1998 World Series rematch. I don't know, maybe not really, but yeah. So Lisa, who do we got coming up? Hoping that the Yankees actually play these games on the days that they're supposed to, because we were also discussing that because the weather in New York, for people who aren't here,
oh my gosh,
it doesn't look great.
One day it's 80, the next, and it was supposed to rain, and it doesn't. The next day is not supposed to rain until a certain time, and then it rains earlier, and it's colder. Yeah, it's just early spring in New York. So, so tomorrow, if the game happens, because there is rain in the schedule for the rest of today and tomorrow, if they play, Nick Pivetta will be starting for the Padres. He's a righty. He has a 5-1 record, a 1.78 ERA, and 39 strikeouts so far. He'll be up against Carlos Rodon, and he's one of our lefties. He has a 4-3 record, 3.43 ERA, and 52 strikeouts on the season. On Tuesday, former Yankee Michael King will be pitching for the Padres, and he's a righty, 4-1 record, 2.09 ERA, and 46 strikeouts. He'll be up against allegedly Clark Schmidt. We'll see what happens. He's a righty. He's an 0-1 record for the season, 5.52 ERA, and 15 strikeouts. And on Wednesday, Dylan Cease will be the pitcher for the Padres. He's a righty with a 1-2 record, 5.61 ERA, 39 strikeouts, and he'll be up against our current ace, Max Fried, who's a lefty. He's got a 6-0 record so far for the year. 1.01 ERA and 39 strikeouts on the season. Eddie, do you think the Padres are going to wear their very interesting colored City Connect shirts during this series?
No. I don't know if they. I wonder.
Do they wear them at a week?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they do.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. Would be no, they're not, because I mean the Yankees are going to wear the white pinstripes. So the road team will usually wear whatever color because they're dominantly white. Those I know what you're talking about, the ones that look like they're Miami Vice jerseys. Essentially.
Totally Miami Vice, glow in the dark. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to guess that those are home. Those are some sort of home alternate only type things. I was thinking like they're playing the Yankees, so they know there will be more eyeballs on it. So maybe they want to get that thing out there so you can sell more or to market more. But yeah, I don't think they're actually allowed to be honest with you. I think they have to wear the whites at home. So we wouldn't know that because our team doesn't have City Connect jerseys.
Yes.
Not a complaint. Yes, I do agree that it
No. It's
inevitable.
Eddie's excited about that. I am not. I want the Yankees to have a City Connect shirt.
Yes, for anyone who may have not caught it previously, my version of the City Connect would be wear the batting practice jerseys and we call it a day.
So boring.
Listen, the batting practice jerseys for the Yankees have always been fire. I absolutely love them.
I have one. I got one from camp. I love that shirt. That's my favorite of my camp shirts.
I get it. I have 4 batting practice jerseys, I think. I have Mattingly, Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera. That was one of my first jerseys, actually, that I ever got. My first Yankee jerseys was a batting practice Mariano Rivera.
To be honest, if the Yankees ever introduced a third option jersey, I think that one would be so dope.
Would be. Just go. I've always been open for that. Why not?
That's actually a really good one to have for home games during the spring. Well, yeah, like spring and fall. Not in the summer because that dark blue would be too hot in the summer. But I mean, other teams play wearing black. I understand, but still, I think that's a cool jersey. I really like that one.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see it more. Yeah. I've always wanted to see it more.
Yeah.
So that's the thoughts on that. All right. Anything else before we wrap up this week then? Anything else?
That's all I got.
So. All right. And then on that note,
I'm so glad you didn't play the song they played today.
I don't even remember what it was, but I was tempted to go with like the Alicia Keys Empire State of Mind. But no, that's all. Yeah, since we had like a down week though. But yeah, thanks for joining us as always. If you check us out on the Facebook live stream, be sure to check out our Facebook group, the Empire 161 Show, where you can get your lineups and highlights and whatever else kind of drops in there that doesn't make the show. Check out Pop Culture Pros and popculturepros.com because that's who we are presented by. Wherever you found your audio-only podcast, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros. YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros as well. And also, you can check us out on Instagram at Empire161 Show. Look at that.
Eddie's so happy that the underscores got
deleted. And we are still working on, if you're Instagram, we're working on getting the live stream going on Instagram as well. So that could be coming in the next couple of weeks. Start working on some bugs behind the scenes. But Lisa and I will see you next week. We'll be recapping the week in Yankees baseball. And hopefully a good week for the Yanks. Padres against the Sacramento Athletics, just Athletics, whatever. Lisa, good for us. Friday night is the only late night Yankees at that series. The other two are day. That's
good. I can't handle that.
It's gotten a lot rougher, I would say, over the years. It's gotten a bit more challenging. So, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye, everybody.